We're headed north from Oaxaca City on Route 135. We're in the Sierra Juarez Mountains. It's part of the Sierra Madre de Oaxaca range. The mountains climb from 1,600 feet to 10,660, with many deep ravines. The Sierra Juarez is one of Oaxaca's wettest areas. It's covered with pine and oak forests. We're headed to the Tehuacán-Cuicatlán Biosphere Reserve that straddles the border between Oaxaca and Puebla states. We start to see the trees thin out and columnar cactuses appear. We're in the scrubland of the Tehuacán Valley. The Biosphere Reserve is made up of this valley and the Cuicatlán Valley. It covers 1,900 square miles. Biosphere reserves are protected natural areas. The Tehuacán and Cuicatlán valleys were designated a Biosphere Reserve in 1998 and a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2018. To be a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a place must contain cultural and/or natural heritage considered to be of outstanding value to humanity. So there must be more here than meets the eye. Only 39 of the 1,154 World Heritage Sites meet the criteria for both cultural and natural significance, and this is one of them. These valleys have been occupied by humans for 30,000 years. Evidence of the domestication of maize, squash, and beans and bottle gourds have been found. We didn't get to the southern part of the reserve, but this rock shelter called the Coscotlan Cave has yielded evidence of human activity 30,000 years ago. We did visit the salt works at Zapotitlan Salinas. Salt's been produced here for over 2,000 years. A natural well is used to access an aquifer running through a 50-million-year-old salt deposit. The saline water is put into salt pans and allowed to evaporate. A salinero uses these natural brooms to move the sediment from one pool to another to get rid of impurities. In about 15 days, the first salt crystals appear. This salt is rich in sodium sulfate and potassium, and it's used for domestic animals. In the next days, the salinero will stir the salt to remove excess moisture. Then the salt's put into baskets to further dry. These are for human consumption. We enjoyed our time at the salt works. The photography was great, and we learned something. We were very lucky to have a great local guide, Martin, to explain what we were looking at. He explained what makes the Biosphere Reserve a UNESCO World Heritage Site is its biodiversity. It's been estimated that as much as a third of the plant species in the Tehuacán and Cuicatlán valleys is found nowhere else in the wild. The most exceptional ecological feature of this place is its columnar cactus forest. This is the species that makes up the forest. This is the only place you'll see it in the wild. A unique feature is the curvature near the top. The whole forest will bend in the same northwesterly direction. They don't flower until they are over 10 feet tall, or about 30 years old. Flowers develop at the top of the tan structure on the cactus, the pseudocephalium. As one would expect, there are a lot of cactus species here, from the very large to the very small. Some are round. And some are flat. And some are shaped like cactus. But it's not just about cactus. As one would expect, there are the usual suspects, several species of agave. some ezote or yucca. The bright red bloom of the slipper plant gets your attention. Palo verde is the only tree in this cactus forest. Ball moss is not a moss at all, but a Tillandsia hair plant. And bromeliads will attach to anything. Another interesting plant is the elephant's foot, sometimes called the ponytail palm, even though it's not closely related to true palms. They can grow up to 30 feet tall. They're easily grown from seeds, but in the wild, the seedlings are a favorite food for goats. The elephant foot is considered threatened in its natural range in southeastern Mexico. The plant's very slow growing and long-lived. There are no growth rings or other indications of age except the size of the trunk. Martin calls this elephant foot the king. It's estimated at 2,600 years old. The seedling saw the peak of the Olmec civilization and the reign of Nebuchadnezzar in Babylon. This youngster is estimated at 1,900 years old. Besides plants, there are many endemic birds, reptiles, fish, and amphibians. We're here at midday, and they were somewhere else, shady and cool. This is the only bird we saw, but we heard others. So if you want to visit a unique place during your stay in Oaxaca, I'd recommend a day or more at the Biosphere Reserve. And you have to try the Cocina Regional at the Ambar restaurant in Zapotitlan, Salinas. Now the sun's setting and it's time to head back to Oaxaca City.